Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today me and Muzz are flying a MiG-29 Intercept mission here on the Cold War Germany map based on the late 1980s. Our job today is to take off on an immediate intercept out of Peenemünde on a northerly heading, intercept enemy aircraft approaching from the north. We have AWACS for our support providing Brockholes. Our first waypoint is situated overhead Bullseye. Our second waypoint is a reference waypoint for our situational awareness. Waypoint 2 is situated over our friendly SA-3 site, and we have waypoint 3 for initial recovery back into Peenemünde. We'll perform a radar trail, distance 5 separation, arrival back into Peenemünde, provided we make it out of the fight alive. We have friendly aircraft taking off out of Tuto and Lage, and we have MiG-21s operating out of Lage, also providing intercept support. We have Tuto, MiG-29 4-ship, and we have another 2-ship out of Peenemünde. Today we'll be dealing with enemy aircraft, which are going to be F-15Cs armed with Sparrow missiles, as well as F-4Es, also providing fighter sweeps, and we have multiple C packages from the Blue Force side approaching the northern coastline, attacking our SA-3, SA-6, and SA-2, and potentially even the SA-5 site, which will become live if enemy aircraft do get close to the coastline. Over the course of the last 2 weeks, me and Muzz have spent countless hours practicing Fox 1 BVR engagements, getting our comms nailed as well as our tactics. Today is going to be our first time employing our newly found knowledge in a more dynamic environment with friendly SAM sites and friendly aircraft operating in the area. Unfortunately, the MiG-29 does not provide a great deal of situational awareness, with a lack of RSBN air-to-air mode, which is the equivalent of the NATO TACAN air-to-air mode, to get a distance and bearing off each other. I do believe that the full fidelity MiG-29 should have that feature available, and that will provide a huge deal of extra situational awareness. We also do not have data link, and of course we do not have a moving map, so it is going to be all about creating a situational awareness picture based on our comms, looking at visual cues outside, and as well as having some sort of knowledge of where our friendly aircraft are operating relative to Bullseye. So without further ado, folks, sit back and enjoy the ride.
We have 2 good engine starts. You're clear to disconnect the headset. We'll see you on the left with the pit. Thanks a lot.
Check-in. 2. 1 and 2 taxi.
Цель обнаружена. 306. Удаление 160 на 3000. Сближайтесь. 51. Цель обнаружена. 314. Удаление 150 на 3000. Сближайтесь. 51. Цель обнаружена. 314. Удаление 150 на 3000.
Set the 4 clear for takeoff. Full airborne.
51. Цель обнаружена. 326. Удаление 150 на 9000. Сближайтесь. 51. Цель обнаружена. 323. Удаление 130 на 3000. Сближайтесь.
Come right, reference 340, single line abreast on the right, go. 1 and 2 fences. AWACS supporting contact for 340 for 100. 1 and 2, climb Angel 8000. Ross 341 for 19.
9,000 hot. Pop-up group 335 490, Strobing 340. Copy. 1 and 2, come right, heading 020. 1 and 2, gate. Scan left. Heading 025. Okay, just to confirm, we have the same picture, approximately 010 getting stroked, and further north of that, there's potentially a single group, approximately distance 15.
Two affirms.
Okay, getting stroked from 360010. See if you can pick out through the stroke. Okay, 1 is targeted.
Two started.
Copy, continue flowing 025 for now. Come left 015. Target hot. Passing distance 30 now. 1 spike, 1's in hot, 2 continue flowing 010.
Two spike.
2, recommit now and shoot. 1, defending. Gazer. Target flanking to the right. 1's recommitted.
Two Fox 1, two is Gazer, defending right.
Copy 2 defending. Flash 1. Bandit down.
Two recommitting, back on target. 3-3s.
Copy, 1 started signal group 029430. Target flanking right to left. 1 Gazer defending.
Splash.
Copy. Have a look at 290 if you can. Target group 290, approximately 290. 1's defending out at 150 south.
Two recommitting, target 290.
Call targeted.
Targeted. Two is Gazer.
Copy, defense.
Right.
1 started in single group at 320 420. Flanking. Fox 1. Smokes in the air, you shot on somebody. 1 Fox 2. 1 merged. F-15 low level. Fox 2.
Nails.
Flash 1. One was getting spiked at approximately 240 degrees. 1 is Winchester, out of weapons, needs to RTB. 2 fuel safe.
2 is 2000.
Copy. Okay, AWACS is reporting a fleet and low waypoint 2 now. Angels 1. Correction, waypoint 1. Disregard. Low waypoint 1.
Paper flying waypoint 1, currently 15 clicks out. Angels 1.
Heading.
090.
Copy, okay. I've got up here on your, practically off your nose, potentially right hand side. I'm approaching waypoint 1 now, 14 clicks to run on a northerly heading.
Yeah, I have your visual.
Copy. You're clear to join fighting wing.
Stay aside.
Fighting wing on the right, go.
2.
One slowing down, speed 700. Left orbit.
Right, 2 is just coming off your right wing.
Copy. We'll come right now, correction, come left now towards waypoint 3. 2 go radar trail, distance 5.
2.
And just confirm radar trail, distance 5.
Affirm radar trail distance 5.
Okay, you're clear to maneuver to increase distance if you need.
Ноты. Возврат.
100. Следуйте курсом 146. Удаление 4,5. Давление 7,5,9,5,1. Посадочный 3,1. Занимайте высоту круга.
Couple that, long final.
Осталось 1500 килограмм.
Distance 5.
Осталось 1500 килограмм.
Copy. Fuel state.
$1,200.
Copy, 1 is 1.5, continue. Gear down now.
Один, 0. Работайте с посадкой.
6 to 4 is clear to land. One final approach, 7 clicks, 320, distance, correction, speed 320.
Well, that's it, folks. We're back down on the ground. I make a slight right to make sure that 2 can overshoot me on the left if needs be. However, he has been following me now at approximately 3 kilometer separation after we've dropped the gear. He's locked me up with his IRST or Pulse with the MiG-29, which means I don't get an RWR indication, so it's absolutely ideal for a radar trail arrival. Now, as I've mentioned before, the Flaming Cliffs 3 version of the MiG-29, which is what we're flying in this video, is a simplified version of the aircraft, which does not have the RSBN modeled, certainly not the air-to-air mode of the RSBN modeled, which I believe it should have, similar to the tactical air navigation system used by the NATO jets TACAN, which also has an air-to-air mode. And of course, when you have a total lack of data link, which is what the case is with the MiG-29, this is probably the most important feature of being able to coordinate with you and your wingman, having some sort of bearing and distance of the other jet, or at the very least a bearing of the other jet, provides a great deal of situational awareness. The problem that we have here, of course, with Fox 1 BVR fights flying an aircraft that does not have data link or any sort of TACAN, is that, of course, the number 2 has to be extremely prudent with his formation keeping. And if at any point we separate, and it is pretty much inevitable that we will eventually have to separate after the initial salvo of Fox 1 missiles are flying in the air, especially if number 2 has to defend at any point, then, or if you're doing a pincer maneuver, which sometimes makes sense, especially, you know, 2v1, where you do a sort of butterfly and separate out in different directions, wait until one guy gets shot at by the enemy, defends, obviously the other guy has to commit, and then at that point, to some degree, situational awareness is lost. You just have to know roughly the direction which aircraft is flying in order to be able to reformate, and of course use some sort of reference waypoints, which is what we have, that we can flow towards them, figure out direction that we're coming in from, and the sort of altitude to figure out where we are relative to each other, and then re-establish formation to then recommit or do whatever we need to. So it is a little bit tricky without having any sort of TACAN or any sort of data link, but it is doable. Now, you would have probably heard us use a term called gazer in this engagement. This is a completely made-up term that we have created, and the reason for that is to denote a launch, an RWR indication of an air-to-air missile being fired at you. Now, with regards to surface-to-air missiles, you can say Singer, and that is a brevity code term used by NATO forces, but there is no such term that is available for use for air-to-air engagements because it's classified, and apparently it also depends on the type of aircraft. So the closest thing that we have in DCS is a defending missile, but that doesn't always work because sometimes you may not actually be defending the missile. You may actually be cranking, being offensive, even whilst you're being fired at. So we have created our own term to denote an air-to-air missile being fired at you, which is gazer. So that, just to clear that up there. So with that, folks, hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you have, in which case, please smash the like button and subscribe for future videos, and hopefully we'll catch you in the next one. Adios.